What secrets does the Flat Earthers' evidence and body language reveal? That's next. Welcome back, Shakers. Derek Van Shake here. As you all know, we are a serious body language and investigative channel. We should never distract any investigation with laughter, humor, and jokes. No, never on this channel. We don't do that here. So let's not laugh at the Flat Earthers while we analyze their very serious evidence and body language to find out what secrets it can reveal. Now, let's get started.
They believe the Earth is a flat disk which looks like on the outer edges of the disk. This is why the North Pole is at the center, with Flat Earthers believed in 1961 Antarctica forming an ice wall around the Antarctic Treaty was agreed upon by all the world's nations, so no one could reach the edge of the disk.
This is what most of the Flat Earthers believe the Earth looks like. Keep this image in your mind as we continue.
They believe that this is the reason the UN uses this as their symbol.
It's exactly the same as the UN logo. Flat Earthers literally took the United Nations logo and made it their map of the world. Their map wasn't based on scientific studies, geography, cartography, and certainly no measurements. But wait, it gets so much better. Notice how the southern hemisphere continents look a little squashed. That's because the UN logo was depicting the globe as if you're looking at to accurately and completely show it from above at the north a spherical object into the pole. Of course, the only way 2D is to show it like this, and that would make a terrible logo.
According to Flat Earth theory, gravity does not exist. Flat Earthers believe that all imagery from the space program has been faked.
They call themselves the Flat Earthers, and we're here to try to understand what's behind this unconventional view.
Now, National Geographic tries to prove with science why the Flat Earthers are wrong. But scientific facts aren't going to change the minds of people whose map of the world is based almost completely on a logo.
A recent survey of Americans found that 2% believe the Earth is flat. Mark Sargent, who's one of the leaders of the Flat Earth community. Mark used to design video games and run software training at Earth.
Yes, a former software guy.
Now, he devotes himself
is one of the founders of the
full-time to promoting the
modern Flat Earth movement. When I first saw this guy speak, his body language and verbal dynamics seemed off. So we're going to be analyzing him. This guy could be just pretending to believe the Earth is flat.
This movement is about changing the world, literally. You think for the longest time that you live here. Or what if it wasn't this? What if this was just the illusion?
We have photos from space that prove that the Earth is round.
Right.
Mark agreed with her on something he should be very much against.
We have photos from space that prove that the Earth is round.
Was also congruent with what he just said, which emphasizes that he and his subconscious head nod, he believes it. Now, what if he shook his head and said right? Yeah, it would come across as him not actually believing she's right, which is more in line with what we would expect of him.
And nobody here believes any of that anymore.
He looks over at everyone and makes a very impersonal response, as in those people don't believe that anymore, as opposed to saying we don't believe that anymore, or I don't believe that anymore. There's so much more on Mark when National Geographic does a Flat Earth test right in front of him. But first, let's look at a Flat Earther leader who, based on his body language and verbal dynamics, seems to truly believe the Earth is flat. Meet Robbie Davidson. He's the
ask all the hard questions to everyone.
CEO of the Flat Earth
And they're going to just love the fact that you just opened
International Conference.
When you're taught that you just came from nothing, because the scientific narrative is nothing exploded and created everything. And we're crazy. They'd rather believe that nothing created all this. When all of a sudden you start looking into the fact that maybe everything in the sky was put in place for us, there's value. Maybe there's something out there that's actually watching over top of us.
There are many signals that indicate a person is lying. But remember, we're looking for patterns and clusters of body language signals, not just random one-off things.
I personally believe that, yes, the Creator is looking right down on us. The sun, moon, and stars were placed in the firmament. We believe the sun and the moon are the same size, just like they appear in the sky. They say, oh, they're further away, millions of miles. They're the same. I know. It is scary if you think, hey, man, they're both lights. They do different. That everything you thought was different things, but they're the same size. It's true. It was a lie. It is frightening. It's frightening. So I hear you, man. I hear you.
Notice how Robbie doesn't do any self-comforting touches and holds when he's talking about the key points. He's showing congruent body language with what he says. He's not showing coaxing eye contact or diverting his eyes in key moments. He uses the word we to indicate he's personally included. No out-of-place smiles and chuckles, no partial mouth covering or eye squinting and rubbing at key moments. Those are just a few of the signs that I'm looking for. Robbie truly believes the Earth is flat. Now, back to Nat Geo trying to prove that the Earth is round to Mark Sargent and his flat earther friends.
Okay, this is the boat out into the water here with a boat-based target, a horizontal stripe, a striped target. We're going to launch a small boat. Come on, Betty! Come on, Betty! And as it gets farther and farther out, you'll start to lose the stripes.
And what's really interesting is that some of the flat earthers, including Mark Sargent, are actually going to be here for this test. They want to see it for themselves.
Don't laugh at Mark Sargent's t-shirt. I'm sure there's a logical, non-narcissist reason for him wearing that.
What do you think is going to happen here today?
I appreciate a scientific group coming out and trying to do this test. Great. Appreciate the enthusiasm. But cannot work.
All they get out of Mark is a vague, cannot work. They should have asked him what he expects the outcome of the thing. For example, I expect no color experiment to be, so they can have him color bars to disappear at all. That's on record with something very specific, more specific. But of course, Mark isn't going to voluntarily corner himself like that.
Okay, so the test is starting. It's starting right now. At first, all the stripes are clearly visible. But sure enough, as the boat reaches the horizon, the stripes begin to disappear, one by one.
Lost about 1.5 stripes.
Right. So this can only happen, why?
Because of the curvature of the Earth. So here's what we were shooting.
But Mark Sargent and the other flat earthers have a very different interpretation of the results. So you don't think that what we're seeing is actually real? You think it's because of...
Yeah.
heat?
Absolutely heat.
Mark looks away and up, shaking, likely doesn't truly believe what his head no, incongruent with just said. Typically, the word with his words. This indicates that he absolutely is combined with a head nod, not a head shake like he just did. Unless you're saying absolutely no, which seems to be what he believes and is communicating.
Absolutely heat.
Does anyone here in flat Earth believe it's a globe? It's still flat. No, anyone? Raise a hand. It's not a pear either.
This is a demonstration. It doesn't change anything for you.
Lord, no.
Mark, do you really believe this stuff? Tell me the truth. I'm serious.
Mark was coming across as so deceptive that even the interviewer picked up on it. Watch again. See if you can pick it out for yourself, and then I'll point it out for you.
It doesn't change anything for you.
Lord, no.
Mark, do you really believe this stuff? Tell me.
A duping smile and submissively.
Truth. I'm serious.
When she actually looks down bashfully for Felix asks Mark that, he bursts out and like she just caught him, while he's also using that looking down to conceal his smile. Now in this next part, see if you can pick out some of the deception indications for yourself.
I absolutely 100% believe we are not on a globe. We are part of a giant studio set. All the world's a stage and you're on it.
First, he starts out saying, I absolutely 100% believe. He seems to be trying to convince and not just convey. Then he seems to be indicating deceit when he starts shaking his head no, as he's talking about something that should be very core to him. I want you all to try this. Say something that you truly believe. It could be something with your religion, a loved one, but say it, my wife. How sincere was that? With a head shake. How did you feel when you... You're probably thinking I'm either being sorry. Did that. For example, I love Markastic, or maybe there's something about her I don't really love. So why is Mark seemingly pretending to be a flat earther? Probably fame, fortune, getting ignorant people to believe something for his own personal gain by triggering their emotions.
So this is for me where I think it gets really dangerous, because we're going back into the dark ages, right? You're essentially perpetuating ignorance by denying science. You know, there's a real life implication in all of this.
Science has had its chance and they aren't putting up a defense.
She looks so confused. Mark's diverting by deflecting it back at her. Have you ever confronted someone who you knew was lying and they started to accuse you? The scientific community just set up this whole of what you just accused them. Scientific experiment. In Mark is doing that. Despite Mark and other flat earthers to see it for themselves. They prove the earth is round. And yet Mark is saying science isn't putting up a defense? The flat earthers are the ones who completely lack evidence and any scientific studies. Well, actually, they have explanations and of course ran their own very sophisticated experiments. Watch.
Daryl Marble packed a level on a flight to test if the plane was flying parallel to a flat Earth.
No laughing is allowed. We can't cloud our judgment when we're evaluating this man's scientific evidence.
That's circumnavigation is really just a little basic.
I know.
A flat circle path. They argue
So simple, it'll go right over your head.
that gravity as we know it simply doesn't exist. The flat disk of Earth is merely accelerating up at 9.8 meters per second.
Gravity's a deception. The sun and the moon are these transcendental, cymatic luminaries.
Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, gyrating? No, I'm pretty rock solid. They're lying. I ain't buying.
So who's they?
Oh boy, get ready for it.
Well, basically, Satan,
Illuminati, Bilderbergs, Trilateral Commission, Vatican,
Zionists, NASA of Jesuits, Freemasons.
The Antarctic surrounds the Earth.
There's nothing that screams scientific
Not so crazy.
proof like multicolored
The seasons change.
Play-Doh.
Seeing it like this, it's not changing when the sun is closer and further from the Earth.
It didn't make sense how we didn't fly off or how the water stuck to the ball.
My friend actually conducted an experiment where he blew up a globe and then he drove an RC car off it.
Right, why aren't we flying off?
we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia.
Flat earthers actually believe astronauts are just actors.
I've watched over 50 hours of video.
Every single person I talked to became a flat earther because of YouTube video. They did not believe the Earth's flatness, and then they watched a YouTube video.
After, many nights of looking at YouTube videos of flat Earth and trying to debunk flat Earth, just ultimately became a flat earther.
So I went down and I did my own testing.
Wow, her
Seashore, down New
own testing. Let's find out what's
Jersey.
and scientific test she performed to arrive at her flat Earth conclusion.
What sort of testing?
So you take a straight edge and you go from one end and you follow the horizon of the ocean and you go straight edge just to the other end and it's flat.
Yes, you heard that right. She probably held up her Philadelphia Phillies beach towel and was like, I don't see any curve. That's enough evidence for me. Also, the fact that she admitted there being a horizon is proof in itself that the Earth is round.
As far as I know, I'm the first guy in the whole world to make a working physical model of the flat Earth. This one, Hidden Lands Beyond. I guess I was the chosen one because some of us think that there's other, or the calling. So I named it lands that they're hiding from us. I mean, we might want to go there, repopulate it.
He taps his belly with both hands, indicating that he personally can help repopulate.
This rock is just a vertical rocket launcher.
Now this guy, when you're watching him, just remember this one thing. He's a limo driver.
Which no man has ever attempted outside of a government space agency. I'm getting to space, 62.8 miles up.
After watching some YouTube videos which prove to him the Earth is flat, what better way to prove the YouTube video correct, which some kid made in his mom's basement, than to launch yourself into space with a homemade
parts. And we're hiring
rocket.
I expect to see real engineers this time instead of being flat disc up there. There's going to be $2 million in the garage.
This time he's hiring real engineers? Surely he didn't launch himself into the sky with a rocket he made in his garage.
It's blast off for a real-life Rocket Man.
Holy
He did it! But boom, it's a crash landing.
Please, I don't know if I broke my back.
You may be asking, why do these flat earthers seem so stupid? And why can't they just understand the scientific proof that the earth is round? First, many of them are conspiracy theorists, and flat earth is the ultimate conspiracy theory. Second, some seem to want to feel special as contrarians to everyone else. Third, others seem to believe spiritual beliefs.
I personally
blindly believe that it's flat because it
believe that, yes, the Creator is looking right,
seems to support their greater
down on us.
And for a lot of them, the supernatural feeling of a flat earth is more comforting to them.
Flat Earth shows you that you are not a mistake.
Hey, you're not just somebody floating on a ball through space. You're important to somebody.
It gives you more of a purpose.
If you ever have any doubt on whether or not the earth is round and honestly want to prove it for yourself, just watch the ships leave port and see them slowly disappear from the bottom to the top. Give this video a thumbs up if you think the earth is round, spherical shaped.
Looks round, folks.
Give this video a thumbs down if you think the earth is flat.
The flat earth would be a circular
Flat earthers can't see the obvious
flat area.
scientific evidence that the earth is round. In the comments, why do you think the flat? Let everyone know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on new body language and investigative videos that always seem to shake up YouTube. And I'll see you at the top.